कहते हैं कि जब कोई कहानी लिखने वाला आपके प्यार में पड़ जाए तो आप कभी मरते नहीं, आप अमर हो जाते हो। और अगर वो लेखक इम्तियाज अली हो तब तो कहना ही क्या। उनके कैरेक्टर्स अक्सर किसी विलेन से नहीं लड़ रहे होते, वो लड़ रहे होते हैं अपनी यादों से, अपनी एक्सपेक्टेशन से, अपने रिग्रेट्स से। हर किसी की लाइफ में कभी ना कभी एक गीत आती है जो हमें जीना सिखा जाती है। हर इंसान में एक जॉर्डन होता है जो खुद को ढूंढ रहा होता है, और हर वेद की जिंदगी में एक तारा जरूर आती है जो हमें हमसे मिला देती है। इम्तियाज अली ने हमें सिर्फ लव स्टोरीज नहीं दी, उन्होंने हमें सिखाया कि कभी कभी किसी को पाना ही प्यार नहीं होता और कभी किसी को खोना ही आपको खुद से मिला देता है। लेडीज एंड जेंटलमैन, ह्यूमंस ऑफ बॉम्बे प्राउडली प्रेजेंट्स इम्तियाज अली। Welcome to Humans of Bombay, and I think I'm speaking to one of the most ace storytellers of our time. And
wow.
Your movies have been so timeless. I think it's a cult. Everybody has referenced them. There are all kinds of reels, and like I was saying, even the crew here, it's just expanded because everybody wanted to come meet you. So
thank you.
Thank you for doing this with us.
No, it's a pleasure.
I'm going to start with a question that comes up constantly. You've been in the industry for 20 years, but you appeal to generations, like you cut across. And there are reels that have gone very viral of people crying after your movies. And Gen Z, millennials, very old men crying after movies. What do you think? Why is that the reason?
What I've understood now after the reaction to this film is that not everything is logical. I should, at my age, relate to, or those people that are my age should relate more to my films, but that's never been the case. And the younger and the youngest generation has always liked my films more. I'll give you an example. Some of my films released in their time and did okay business, and then later re-released and did phenomenal business. Who was watching them were people that were toddlers or very young at the time of release. For instance, Rockstar. Did well, I won't say it did badly when it released, but now what happened with it, like everything, nobody said we didn't understand, ye bhari hai, all of those things that people had a problem with during its release in 2011. Now when it re-released last year, nobody had any problem. I've been and I saw the film several times in the theater, and people who were young now were relating to it and just lapping up everything, right? I thought maybe this is a better generation of audience for me. Similarly, in my Vaapas Aaunga, I go to theaters and I see that people that were obvious, none of us was born when partition happened, right? But younger people are taking to it in a very different way. And I feel that I can relate to them. The way they talk, I understand also. And like I remember the times very well when I was their age or younger, and so it's a great connection. It's a great thing to know.
And is it because it's so emotionally heavy, like in the sense like the characters are also very emotional, and you're not afraid of, say, things that people talk about today, right? Ki men shouldn't cry. Your characters have been the exact opposite, where men are very vulnerable, they're crying, they're emotional.
It's quite strange because I find it very difficult to cry. Yeah, there's a joke also that I have always found it extremely difficult to cry. I have not been able to, actually, not at the right time anyway. So, it's a bit different for me that people watch the film and they are getting emotional.
So where do you draw that inspiration from to write such emotional characters?
I guess from life, the things that I've seen, and when you meet somebody, they say a little bit about themselves, but you imagine what else might be going on in their lives, which might not be accurate, but it has a testimony of fictional reality, so to speak, as though this kind of grief exists. And recently I found out the dictionary meaning of grief, and it is love that could not be expressed.
That's it. That's a dictionary.
Yeah. Isn't it beautiful? Yeah. Love that could not be expressed is grief. So and we all carry it. When people come into the theatre, watch my Vaapas Aaunga, and they get emotional, it's not only because the film is emotional, it's also because they are carrying emotions. The emotions are their own. And but this is also a time when we are carrying so much emotion, you know, which is why I guess the relationship with the audience and the film.
And speaking of love, you write the most beautiful love stories. They're not even beautifully perfect. काफ़ी imperfect भी होते हैं. And consistent theme is finding the right person, but the timing is wrong. Where does that come from?
There's a poem by Ghalib that says, "आते हैं गैब से ये मिज़ामी ख्याल में." It's very tough. I'll explain it to you. It says that these thoughts, you know, these things come to mind from vacuum. Like it's like a black hole where it's coming from. It's not as though I'm thinking and analyzing and seeing this. These things just, like I write and I go into a certain world, and then when I read what I've written, it's this.
It's this.
Yeah, I don't plan it.
So, what is the definition of love to you?
Well, it's if I had a definition of love, I'd definitely not be making movies to try to understand myself. So if I make stories in a certain way, it's not as though I know any better. It's only because I'm engaged and I'm wondering myself what the answers are. You understand? It's not as though I have understood something so I can make a movie about it. It's because I don't understand something I make a movie about it.
So you don't understand love?
No. Who does? I don't think anybody does. If I ask you, what do you think the definition of love is, what would you say?
It's tough.
Isn't it?
Yeah, it's tough.
Yeah, so it's tough for everyone. Just because I'm older than you, I'm not supposed to know
No,
more. In fact, I might know less. I might know less.
If one would imagine Imtiaz Ali knowing what love is.
Sorry to disappoint.
Jab we met, I remember I was growing up and I watched and I was like, oh my god, this is so perfect, and there's this happy ending and it had everything, right? The emotions were like
How old
up
were
and
you,
down.
if I may ask, approximately, when you saw Jab We Met?
When did it release? Like the exact
2007.
I was in 9th standard.
Okay.
In 2007.
Yeah, so that was a good age to watch it.
Yeah.
Films make an impression at that time.
Yeah. Also, what is it with trains? Do you have
I
some
love
connection?
trains.
Why?
Yes, I do, because I have traveled a lot by trains, and whenever I traveled by train, there was always some interesting incident or adventure or some companion on the way that I met and all of that. And I feel that there is nothing more easily accessible adventure in India than the Indian Railways.
Really?
Yeah, because you meet people that will otherwise never allow you to get into their drawing rooms and bedrooms, and you're now living with them. It's like you're living in somebody's house.
Yeah.
They talk, they share their food, you get to sample different kinds of sensibilities, and outside the window there is an ever-changing scenery, and you see the beauty and the splendor of what lies beyond those railway tracks. It's just a spectacular world. It's like every time that I've traveled, and my journeys have been 32 hours, 28 hours, etc., because I was coming from Jamshedpur going to Delhi, or coming to Bombay, or traveling between Bombay and Delhi like Geet Dylan. In all of this, I wish that the journey didn't get over. So I feel it's a spectacular journey to be on a train, and many of my film scenes are placed in it because I feel that there is so much potential for drama. You know, just like there could be a girl or a guy across the aisle from you, and you know what happens when that happens?
Trouble.
Trouble. At the same time, there's a presence of something, and then there are other people, and there are all kinds of transitory relationships. You know, you bond with somebody, and then there are very fantastic things that have happened with me on the train, and I wish to reveal more and more in my films.
Yeah, as you have. I think it became a cult after Jab We Met.
Yeah, this film also has train in a different way, but in a very different way. Nobody would want to go through that journey.
Yeah.
But I have this attachment to trains. In both the Love Aaj Kals, there was a lot of train as well.
You've had a journey from UPSC. You also wanted to be a footballer.
A civil servant, huh?
Yeah, but a footballer also was there. Yeah, basketballer.
Yeah.
And then you ended up making beautiful films. So tell me about you, about the journey that brought you to films and script writing.
Well, it was obviously not a cleverly curated journey. It was just a series of incidents and accidents that have led me here. And the only thing that I've consistently done is selfishly taken course in the direction of my own interest. I've always tried to do that, manipulated that sometimes, but been close to poetry, literature, writing, play acting, theatre, and gradually that became my profession. I think I also got a lot of guidance from the forces that be to be in this direction.
Can you give me an example?
See, I thought when I came to Bombay, I thought I'll study advertising and marketing because I'll get a job. Because the time that it was and where I was coming from, I couldn't even imagine that someone can be in the film industry. I didn't know how that was, and I did not have the luxury to just like hang around and not earn money. I had to earn money also. You know?
Bombay is expensive.
Bombay is so expensive. But I didn't get a job in advertising as a copywriter. And I must have taken 50 copy tests in all the agencies, and believe me, wherever I went, they thought, wow, you're a genius, you're going to get the job, this is going to be your desk from Monday, we are just waiting for so and so account to come and then you will be working with us. Like, I can take the names of all those agencies, I remember their offices, I remember their peons and receptionists also. However, as luck would have it, I never got a job in advertising. I don't know why. And I was most desperately trying. And I think I was really good.
Of
and
course.
No, but at that time I felt that maybe I'm really the best copywriter in the area that I was. I used to think internally. I never told anybody. But anyway, I didn't get a job. And I was thinking, why is this happening? It's almost as though बोलते हैं ना कि कोई हाथ दे के रोक रहा है कि ये तो नहीं होगा, ये होगा ही नहीं. And I'm trying so hard, so desperately, never happened. The job that for a year.
So how were you making ends meet? How was life back then?
See, my dad was supporting me. He was sending money at that point of time because I was also my status was legitimate because I was also a student then.
Okay.
So, but I knew that I didn't want that to continue, and somehow we managed. And also a little bit of a community living helped because my friends and everybody, we lived in a place. Anyhow, so the job that I did get was in ZTV as a production assistant. So it was the lowest rung, but this stream flowed into the river of films. From there to doing television to doing films, So I got guided to come here. This is what I mean by guidance.
When did you dream of it the first time, that I'll make a film?
I was doing television, I was directing television. And the funny story is that someone in television, an executive, told me in Star that we are starting a series of a feature film in 3 parts. A film in 3 parts, okay? So we want you to be the first one to direct this. So it was still for television. So you write it and please quickly submit the script so that we can go on with it. Told them the story, they said, हाँ अच्छा, that was सोचा ना था. And then when I overnight wrote that in 2 nights. And
you wrote the entire thing in 2 nights?
Yeah. 2 nights, 3 nights. And then I went to the bank, I remember, and I called these guys. They said, अरे यार तेरे को बोलना भूल गए, वो ना actually वो slot cancel हो गया. So as luck would again have it, again see guidance, that television slot cancelled itself. Now I have a script and I don't know what to do with it. So I approached my friend Sanjay Rautri and said, boss, तूने बोला था कि अगर कोई स्क्रिप्ट होगी तो बोलना, मेरे पास ये है, मुझे लग रहा है ये थोड़ा डिफरेंट टाइप की, इस पर फिल्म बन सकती है शायद. तो देखना, बहुत डर के मैंने बोला. And then he lined up and gradually that churning started and ultimately I ended up making a film.
But did you ever dream of it? Did you ever think that
No.
okay, this is my like thing. I want to achieve this, or I want
No.
to make it or
No.
create it. No.
I'm sorry, and I don't know whether this is a great example for young people, but I didn't have this dream. Like, I couldn't even dream, honestly.
Why do you say that?
Because I don't know anybody who's even seen film shooting, almost in my life. How can I say to myself, I'll be a film director? It is at moments like this that it suddenly hits me, dang, I'm a film director. I don't know how this happened.
So it's not planned, and you don't always have to have a goal or direction.
I
Sometimes
think,
life takes.
मतलब I'm not a great one for over planning either. I feel that आपने जितना भी मांगना है ना दुनिया से, आपने कम ही मांगना है. There is more to be received than you can ever ask.
Okay.
Sometimes I feel that, and this is what I've learned, and nobody, please don't follow any advice in life is what advice I give to everybody.
So when young people ask for advice, what do you typically say to them?
I say that, there is this rule that when you travel, the only guidebook that is useful for you is the guidebook you write while on the travel. Don't listen to advice. What worked with me will never work for you. Everything is extremely unique in this world. For every experience is very unique. So you create your own. And there are no shortcuts, that I can tell you.
Okay. Even with the film released right now, right? You said that you were strangely and oddly surprised that the movie picked up after a few weeks, and the industry needs to take notes, is one of the interviews that was referenced.
I need to take notes. I don't mean that the industry needs to take notes per se. All of us need to take notes of what the audience is.
So what is the audience?
The audience is just a unique barrage of people that are oddly not represented fairly on social media. They are people who are intelligent. They are people who are extremely sensitive, and they got every nuance of मैं वापस आऊंगा. There's nothing that they didn't get.
Yeah.
Subtlest of emotions, I go and I see in the theatre, there is an echo. When he makes his beard like this, when she appears in the end on the phone, there is an echo, there's a murmur, there's a ripple. They've got everything. So
you witnessed this yourself when you went to theatres?
Yeah, I have gone to innumerable theatres and met hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people and just gaped at their faces because their true emotions were being shown, We are so private, like it would be so difficult for anybody to show their real emotion, like they say ugly crying face.
Yeah.
But then they were like that, and we were standing and talking for so long after the movie ended. In each case. And it was not even so much about photo khichani hai. It was about, because this is the reality. We felt things about our own grandfathers, about our own lives, about our own, whether we will get this kind of affection or love in our lives, and so on and so forth. All kinds of things were coming up. So it was, and I've seen that everybody got every nuance.
Yeah.
Which is why I feel that this audience is amazing. Never listen to anybody who says audience को समझ में नहीं आता है. आपको खुद समझ में आना चाहिए कि किस तरह से कहानी बनानी है ताकि ऑडियंस को अच्छा लगे. समझ में सब आ जाएगा. मज़ा आना चाहिए. And that I have understood. Then I realized that audience जो है ना, it's not like if you watch, let's say, a Steven Spielberg film and you enjoy it, but you might also watch a David Dhawan film and also enjoy it.
Yeah, it can be both.
Yeah, so you're not a number. You're not one type. You're a person. Yeah. You're a dynamic person.
Complex emotions.
Complex emotions. You like different kinds of things as long as it's good. So that I've understood, and I feel this is my time of testing, This is a test by fire for me.
Why do
because
you say
the
that?
film started so low and it has achieved a number which was anyways unprecedented. Now it is still going. Every day the collections are rising.
Higher and higher,
right? Yeah. So I have had to go and see it from the bottom, and now I'm seeing audience come in. Every day I'm at the theatre and I'm looking at their faces. I'm meeting distributors and exhibitors that are our first point of contact with the audience. So I'm understanding this language of people.
Yeah.
Trade is just people, So it's great learning that I'm getting.
Over like 600 shows added in the past week,
Yeah,
I would
man.
say. And
Yeah,
that's
it's crazy.
crazy. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
amazing.
But how did you feel when the initial response wasn't this? Are you a disappointed director?
You know, no, I wasn't disappointed because there were a lot of people in the film industry that called me, made it a point to call me and say, don't worry, I've been long enough like Shekhar Kapoor, Subhash Ghai, veterans like that. Said, don't worry, this film has to work.
Wow.
Shekhar said, I've never read these kind of reviews for any film, brother. Right? So, ये तो नहीं हो सकता कि film डूब जाएगी.
Yeah.
And all of us are basing our lives on the assumption that the audience understands. That if it is good, the audience will like it. This is the number one postulate of our lives. All of us, all directors in the film industry. If this doesn't work, everybody thought that yaar hamara loss ho jayega. We will lose face in some boardroom where somebody is going to say that boss, देखा नहीं चली ना, तू भी ना मतलब packaging
It would be an industry loss or an industry industry upset. Yeah.
And I do feel, and I've said this in interviews before, and I'm gladly reminded of it now, that this is a time for the upsurgence of Hindi cinema. Here is a time where we will get back into making great movies, because ultimately that is what the audience wants. And now, after the response to this film, I'm convinced about it. Not to say that my movie is great, but I know that they want something great.
Yeah. You think it's shifted drastically over the past few years, especially with OTT?
Yes.
You said something interesting. You said that you haven't understood love or the definition of love. But how much of your characters and the iconic characters have a little bit of you in it?
Well, I can't help put my scent in them, but I don't do it deliberately. I try to, in fact, avoid it. And so not much, not really much.
Who is most like you?
There are aspects, I feel, but not very substantial, not like that. But sometimes it's a reflection of, for instance, Geet is very articulate, and I felt that I'm a bit socially awkward. So I'm unable to express like she is. So in a way, there is an echo or a reflection there, but it's the reverse of. Jordan is so inarticulate and he's so dumb, but I'm not, But I wish I was, because sometimes it's just good to just like be
not
like
be
that.
intellectually stimulated.
Yeah, not to think about stuff, and the relief of that I get by creating Jordan's character. Because often many of these characters are not me. I don't want them to be me. In fact, they turn out to be somebody through who I can live vicariously the life of somebody else.
And your female characters are also very strong, which I enjoy and I love. That whether it's Geet or it's Heer or so many different characters that are strong women and in their own way, and they're not necessarily like a damsel in distress who needs saving. They have their own voice, they have their own mind. Where's that inspired from?
From life. That is definitely from life, because I've found very intelligent and charming women around me who have definitely had more control over their lives than the men in my life. And constantly, even while in school, I've always seen that the girls score more than the guys. They are more in control. Like in any school which is co-educational, I'm sure that the girls do better than the guys, because that's what I've seen in my life. So they are smarter, and since even if we pretend to, still the world is not equal for men and women. I feel that even in modern societies, there is still a lopsidedness where a woman is at a disadvantage. Being in disadvantage, she has to become smarter to survive, I feel. So for these reasons, women become, I've always seen them be more smart and also more attractive, less of a baby, it's like they're smart.
Yeah.
So there is an attractiveness to it, like the way I see Tara or even Geet, taking control of their lives. Not saying, oh, मेरी शादी करा दो, मैं चली जाऊंगी, not shit like that, It's like that, oh, मैं तो भाग जाऊंगी, तू करा ना शादी, मैं भाग जाऊंगी, so having that kind of a...
They're bold, they're decisive also.
They're decisive, they want to take control of their lives, they don't want to be cattle. And Yeah, it bothers me when people are cattle.
Yeah. When was the last time we saw that?
Airports. You know, when the third window is also open or the third gate is also open, but since everybody is going to the first two gates, nobody goes to the third gate.
Yeah.
ऐसा होता है ना? Why? Like it's like this sheep mentality is going to destroy us, and this is no good to anybody but only those big industrialists or markets. You know, we are just becoming market commodities. वो नहीं होना चाहिए.
What do you mean by market commodities?
It's a very long discussion. I don't know whether you want to go for it, but it's like कंज्यूमर ना कि आपको ज़रूरत नहीं है इस चीज़ की मगर आप ख़रीदोगे बिकॉज आपको इतना मैंने फोमो क्रिएट कर दिया है, इतनी एडवर्टाइजिंग कर दी है तो आप वो ख़रीदोगे. एंड सो आई एम बेसिकली ट्रीटिंग यू लाइक एन ऑब्जेक्ट, स्क्वीजिंग यू आउट ऑफ योर मनी and giving you a credit card also so that you can pay by credit and be in debt also. So how am I different from this old fashioned sahukar landlord of the past who used to do bandhwa mazduri? You know, like he used to enslave the farmers by giving them a loan. Credit card in a way is like that. No, why do you want to spend more than you can earn? And why should you be given a thing, an option to do so and forced and said, "Arey, aapne wo nahi kharida, aapne ye nahi kharida," and your fridge is full of foods that you are not eating, which are available in every corner of the world. Why do we need all this? So it's like when COVID happened, the trade market, the stock exchanges all over the world collapsed because people were buying only what they need.
Yeah.
Only what they need they bought. The markets collapsed. Isn't that spectacular? कि जिसकी ज़रूरत नहीं है जब आप वो खरीदते हो तब मार्केट चढ़ता है. So anyway, this is like a completely bullshit and removable part of this interview.
No, I think it's very relevant and I think we should keep it.
All right.
Okay.
That's
So
up to you.
एक segment है, it's called the art of storytelling because I don't think anybody can explain it better. So what goes on? It's interesting. It's a nuanced question and we'll try to do it. We want to get inside your brain, which is how do you create a Jab We Met? Or how do you create any film with the characters? Do you think of actors first कि मैं ये film रणबीर के साथ बनाऊंगा, दिलजीत के साथ बनाऊंगा, or it's like let me think of a story? What is it?
Yeah.
Like give us a peek into your brain.
Story
and your
comes
process.
first, and you don't even write it. You actually just talk about it with your friends, and tell them the story for entertainment. That you know, blah blah blah. And then it starts to form more and more and more and more. Then you think about it, you daydream about it. One day you write it, and then begins the process of writing, because you rewrite. After it is in a certain form, you decide to make it. And
what's that form? Like when do you decide to make it?
It's usually a screenplay, which means that it's a document of, I write in Microsoft Word, so let's say 40 pages, 30-40 pages document, sometimes like a novel, usually like a novel. And then I start the process of talking to partners, like now we are producing ourselves, so internally that this is a story, what does everybody think, and then start talking to actors and all of that, the studio.
Okay.
Later, yeah.
How did all these actors, the iconic movies, the actors fit into the piece? Like, how have you created that?
You ask me about a movie, I'll tell you what happened in that.
Okay, let's take Diljit now.
In this film?
Yeah, in this film.
In मैं वापस आऊंगा, I wrote the script and then I was thinking of who to cast, and usually I don't work with actors back to back. I have never done that. Although I've done with Ranbir 2 films, Randeep 2 films, Deepika 2 films, but back to back nahi hua tha, so I had not thought of Diljit. But then more as I was writing and rewriting, I was thinking that I'm getting closer to what Diljit would be best at, and just because I've done a film with him cannot be the reason for me to not do this film with him. I must offer to him. So I walked across. He's my neighbor actually, strangely. Also in Bombay. When he comes here, there's a flat that he has and that's close to mine. So anyway, I walked across and I told him the story, and in the first 5-10 minutes he understood. The thing with Diljit is you don't have to complete your sentence with him. He understands halfway. So he understood पहले ही scene में कि क्या मैं ऐसा है, and then he said, भाजी मैं तो कर रहा हूँ फिल्म, और मैंने सोचा था कि आप मुझे वो बुड्ढे वाला रोल भी दोगे ना तो भी मैं कर लूँगा. Because he understood what I was trying to say. More than even what he was supposed to do in the film. Let's give him the credit for that. He understood what I was trying to say, and he thought that it's very nice to say that, and he wanted to be a part of it.
Okay. Let's take another offbeat one, which is Alia and Highway, where she was very new. She was not established, quote unquote, and it was a great performance, great story, everything was great.
Yeah, so I was looking at an older woman in this part, and I thought that somebody should have that emotional quality, you know, the emotional quotient and the understanding to be able to play this part. Because this is a very important part, or a very mature part, so to speak. And then I met this kid. She was literally, I don't know, 17, whatever. And when I met her, she had that. And it was really startling.
What's that? You said she
It
had
was
that.
just the way she looked, and I knew that she has the presence, she has the heart, she has the understanding, you know. And I hadn't seen her film by then. Karan's film had released, but I hadn't seen it by then. So I saw this girl, and then I was like, wow, I wish I could ask her to do it, you know. But she'd never done anything like that. So then I thought, let me meet her. I said, we caught up somewhere. Then I told her a little bit about the story. Then I sent her this 40-pager or 20-pager that I had written. Then she read it a couple of times. And then I said, you tell me what you think. Did you like it? And over the phone she said, I loved it. And the way that loved was spoken, I realized she can kill this role. Because she has the heart. And so there is a vibe, you know. It's not a physical description, it's more an emotional vibe that matches between a character and an actor for the part to be good.
And the same for Rockstar, Jab We Met.
When I went to meet Ranbir for Rockstar, I was actually telling him another story. Then he said, you know, you have this other story where this guy wants to become a rock star and for that he wants his heart to be broken. I said, yeah, I had written that story long back. And
How did he know about the story?
because some friend of his had heard it, because I had told this story to someone else, and by Chinese whisper it had come. So it was a unique narration where the actor narrated to the director the story. ऐसा होता है, ऐसा होता है, ऐसा होता है सर, उसके बाद फिर ऐसे. I said, तुमको कैसे पता? सर नहीं, हम लोग ना कल रात को, परसों रात को गए थे वो स्टेशन में चाय पीने के लिए, रणबीर and his friends at night. तो वो बंदा है, वो कहीं का असिस्टेंट डायरेक्टर है, क्या है? He told me this story, and I thought it's such a nice story, and coincidentally I'm meeting you. He told me that story in 1 hour.
Of Rockstar.
Of Rockstar. And I'm looking at him, and I've written this script 2 years back or 3 years back, and I'm looking at him and I said, boss, this is the right actor to play it. He wasn't even pitching himself.
Yeah.
So I said, okay, Ranbir, if I make it, will you do it? He says, yeah, sir, let's do this one. No?
And that's how it happened. Wow. Did it bother you that Rockstar didn't do as well early on?
It was very strange because before that, the 2 films that I had made, whoever had seen it had liked it. There was no conflict in Jab We Met or Socha Na Tha. Socha Na Tha, 20 people saw maybe, but all 20 were like okay with it. They didn't come to kill me after that, right? But in Rockstar, for the first time, there was this divided audience. Also, sorry, Love Aaj Kal also. People had liked it. Nobody was like, जानी दुश्मन कोई नहीं बन गया था 1-2 लोगों को छोड़ के. So suddenly there was this polarization. Some people said ये क्या बकवास है, कुछ समझ में नहीं आया. And there was this larger segment of audience which was like the Fidain terrorist type. If you say anything against Rockstar, I'll personally kill you. So I was going to T-Series one day, and then the film had released and it was in the theatres. And as I got into the lift, a girl came out of the lift in Rockstar, during Rockstar time. Came out of the lift and she saw me and she said, oh, and she stepped back into the lift.
Which you were entering?
Yeah. So then we were traveling in the lift now and she's crying. What the hell happened? And then she says, you know, anybody who says that Rockstar is not a good film now, he's a blah blah blah.
Beep.
Beep beep beep. Never believe them. Never believe them. I said, okay. And then she got off, and then I was like puzzled that ye kya reaction tha. So there was that, but it didn't, like, we made the numbers, everybody, it could have done better while at the box office. It didn't. But over the years, the kind of recognition that that film has had and the effect that it has had on today's youth, guys, again, as who were toddlers at the time it was released. My daughter was a kid, like, when this was released. She turned 11 in 11/11/11. Her birth date is the same as the date of release of Rockstar. And
I saw that behind you. I saw 11/11/11 written on that frame. And I
Oh,
was
yeah.
going to ask you about it.
Yeah. So she, at that time, was saying, you know, Dada, try to make films like Jab We Met. See, it did better.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, she was in her own much way trying to say that, you know, everybody wants their dad to be successful. You know, it's like, ye picture mein utna, maybe it didn't do that well as Jab We Met, because Jab We Met had become this monstrosity by then, no? Like, people were loving it that much. And but over the years, this became her favorite film, and also the favorite film of everybody in her generation.
Yeah.
So when a person of that age talks to me about my films, now they talk about Tamasha more, I guess.
Again, it's like, it's a slow burn.
It's a slow burn.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm so glad that this slow burn has become fast burn. While, you see, what happens is that when a movie is not in the theatre now, the trade does not, the producer and distributors don't make the money.
Correct.
You know? So while this movie is in the theatre, if people watch this and they are, then we get to say that, see, we broke even, we made the money, we made a profit, so we can make movies like this.
Correct. It's the difference between slow and
Yeah,
fast.
yeah. So, business point of view, this is highly preferred.
How much of an influence does your daughter have on things you create and make? Because she's also of a different generation.
Yeah, she's always involved.
Okay.
Ever since she was born, I've been telling her stories, and she's been telling me stories, and we've been discussing. And especially during Tamasha, as she was growing up, she had a huge part to play. And we, not professionally, but we are always linked up in the stories that we do with each other. So, do in life. You know, I know all her stories, and I'm there somehow in her stories. And she's there in my stories without any credit. Everything. She reads everything.
Can you give me an example?
See, lot of Tamasha is being spoken to a kid.
Really?
Isn't it?
I
Like,
don't
if
know,
you
because
see
it
Tamasha,
appeals to me even today.
yeah, when Tamasha, there is a child, no?
Yeah.
That was approximately how old Ida was. The kid Ranbir, the kid Ved, who goes to the storyteller and is listening to these different stories, and his fascination, or the world of his stories is very different from what the authentic world of a Helen of Troy or so on and so forth is. But so in that world of a kid fantasy is where Tamasha is placed, and that is because of Ida, because of my daughter.
Yeah.
And that relatability that I had, when she used to go to school, and it's like, I have only 4 friends. You know how it is when you are in the 6th standard. And then I remembered I got reconnected to the time when I was in the 6th standard, and when I had 3 friends. Yeah. And then I thought, let me give her some advice about, and the advice was like a buddy. Why don't you do this? Rather than give some funda.
Yeah.
So I'm very, like, because of having a child, you find a way of reconnecting to the younger age of your own life. That has been a very profitable thing for me to do.
Yeah. There's very little about who you are off camera. Means you've done a lot of research, and today we had a meeting, and we're talking about what to ask, what not to ask. Unlike what it seems like, there's quite a lot of preparation. But there are things where somebody has said that I don't know if it's true, or shayad pucho shayad don't ask because we don't know only if it's true or it's not true. Is it intentional that you're behind the camera even in real life? Like there's not a lot about you out there.
I
Not
think
enough.
there is a, like, I don't know. I think there's a lot.
Not enough.
Not enough.
Not enough. Usually we're very used to pages and pages. Not
No,
enough.
no, no. My interest is not in my own life either. That's the important thing that I do, or the interesting thing that I do, is to make films, right? So I think there should be focus on that. I don't hide or anything of that sort either, but I feel that what's to talk about in somebody's life, about somebody's life? What is interesting is movies, and it's the interest in movies that has brought me here. So why? I don't do it deliberately. I don't know.
Okay. So you said you can't define love. Can you define friendship?
I think friendship is a very important thing, and friendship is something that exists or should exist in every relationship. The difference is that friendship is not a relationship, I feel. Friendship is a certain bonhomie that should exist in every relationship. This is what I've understood. So a husband and wife can or cannot be friends. A father and daughter can be or cannot be friends. So, and any relationship, I think, is defined by the friendship that they have.
Do you know that you go viral often on the internet? Like, are you aware?
Do you know that the season has also changed? Monsoon is here. A lot of people are getting the viral attack. In Bombay, since you're Humans of Bombay, you should be very aware of that. I just met somebody who has had viral as well.
So that's your answer to that.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you on Instagram? Do you check what's going on?
Yeah, I am on Instagram.
So
yes.
you're using your account?
I'm using my account. Okay. It's not a very cool name. It's called Imtiaz Ali Official.
It's cool only.
No, but official is not so cool. But then at that time, Imtiaz Ali was not available. Of course, I'm not the only Imtiaz Ali in this world, and not smart enough to have gotten onto the bandwagon earlier. So it's official, and now I'm unable to change it. So if Facebook is listening or Instagram is listening, can I please change my title? What's it called? Handle to some other title, please.
What would that handle be?
Imtiaz Ali here, or Imtiaz Ali 9, or something.
Something different.
Something not official. Like, I want to take the word official out. Guys, please help me.
What was the last thing you were doing on Instagram? Like, do you check out other people's profiles?
No, I don't check other people's profiles. In fact, I don't follow anybody because
zero.
Yeah, zero, because then it's a dharam sankat that if I follow you, then somebody else will say, why are you not following me? And I'm not a very device person, honestly. I can't spend too much time on social media. I start feeling as though, where is my life going? I feel a certain tiredness, actually, disgust. So I have to only spend a little time. Nowadays, because I'm, so many messages are coming because of my Vaapas Aaunga, that I'm seeing a bit more. So what I last did is that I was like, I'm seeing these messages that come here.
You see all of them?
Many of them. Usually recommended by somebody, posted by somebody. Many of them, and crazy messages, wonderful messages. So I do spend a lot of time on social media these days, but I handle my account. I don't have this. It is official, but I don't have an office doing this.
What was the last comment that made you emotional? I know you said you find it difficult to cry, but anything that moved you?
There's an article that Manish Chaudhary forwarded to me, and it was written by a gentleman who lives in Canada, who'd gone to watch my Vaapas Aaunga. And there was something he wrote that really moved me. Also, there was another Instagram message that my brother Sajid had sent me about a guy who said that I never got the chance of taking my grandmother to her family house in Pakistan, but watching your film at least gave me the closure that this was possible. I was planning it, but I could never do it. But thank you for showing that this could be possible. through your film at least gave myself the satisfaction of having done it. So yeah, very, very moving messages, very, very moving messages. Lot of people, and there is a couple that stood up in the theatre.
You were there?
To me.
Oh, to you, okay.
Yeah, and they said that we've always felt that we've had a love marriage, he said, he explained. He says that, people are so cynical about being in love. But I feel the same way about her, But people were not getting it. But what I saw in your film, no, that's how I feel about my wife. So cute, yeah.
So you defined love for somebody.
Yeah, so he said, yeah, यही मेरी भी ऐसी feeling है इसके लिए. How cute,
So
how
sweet.
cute.
That's
yeah.
really sweet.
Yeah.
That's really sweet. So I'll read one of your lines on it. And if you tell me where it came from, because it's like too deep a place for us to understand. ये प्यार जहर की तरह होता है, पता है. You want to complete it right now?
ये तो मैंने देख लिया है. ये प्यार मिलता नहीं है. ये ऑलरेडी होता है हमारी तरह अंदर, और ये जहर की तरह होता है, एक बूंद भी आपके अंदर बच जाए तो आखिर वक्त में ये चैन से मरने भी नहीं देता. This Nirvair says.
Where did this come from?
Where it came from in my life.
How do you write something like this?
I don't know. It's just like you write it. You're a writer. You write.
It's not inspired from somewhere. You didn't feel deeply about it. You didn't.
No, I thought while writing, I realized. When I was writing, I was thinking that ये प्यार मिलता नहीं है. ये already होता है हमारे अंदर. In fact, we are just trying to look for somebody who we can give this to. This is what I feel. At least Nirvair felt at that point of time. But it's also like poison. So because it troubles you if you can't exercise it.
How do you plan on, or what do you plan on writing next? Like, what is the untold story that you're working on?
Yeah, I think I don't know the story, but I see a world. It's a new world, and it's a world of adventure and human adventure and drama.
Human adventure and drama. Okay. And are we going to see trains? Are we going to see the
I hope
similar
you see
themes?
trains.
You see trains.
I hope. I don't know. I'm not seeing it yet, but yeah. Hopefully.
Okay. And who's your favorite? I'm going to ask you your favorites. Your favorite writer.
Ernest Hemingway.
Okay. And do you have a specific quote that you like?
No, I think just the way he writes is very fascinating. It's very real, it's very accessible, and it's non-intellectual. That's what I like about good writers, that they never come through like intellectuals.
Yeah. Your favorite director?
David Lean, Bimal Roy, these are older directors, but as a kid and through life, the films that I watch have been of these two people.
Favorite actor?
Dilip Kumar.
Your favorite actress?
I like Madhubala a lot.
Wow, okay.
But I also like many others. I have many favorite actresses.
You can name a few.
Jaya Bhaduri I used to love
Yeah.
when I was younger. When I was a kid, I used to love Jaya Bhaduri. I still love her, but more than now. And yeah.
Your favorite piece of poetry?
Well, it keeps changing. And what comes to mind is a bit in relation to मैं वापस आऊंगा, which says that तुम मेरे पास होते हो गोया जब कोई दूसरा नहीं होता. It's a simple line by a poet called Momin.
Okay. And is there anything on poetry that you look for when you're writing films or?
Oh yeah, I get very inspired by poetry.
Okay.
And English chiefly, because that's really been my subject. I'm a literature student, no? So, but also Hindi, Urdu, and Portuguese, strangely. I discovered this Portuguese poet called Fernando Pessoa. And so all of this, so I get very inspired. T.S. Eliot is one of my ever favorite poets. So I get very, very inspired by their lines, and much of their lines is in my films. Much of T.S. Eliot's inspiring lines have formed the basis of certain sequences or the whole drift of the film.
The last film you saw that you thought, wow.
Hamnet.
Yeah.
Hamnet blew me away, man.
Yeah. My last few questions for you to to all the viewers who cry while watching a film and who feel super emotionally connected to everything that you do, your characters, and they reference them and they post about them. What would you like to say? Because they're always looking for more and they're hungry for more.
I can only express my gratitude towards the audience. I can only say thank you. And I can only say that it's because of you that I'm there.
Yeah.
So I really owe my bread butter, my office rent
In Bombay.
in
which is quite
Bombay,
expensive, yeah.
and my life to them. If they weren't there, I would have perished.
And lastly, if you had to give some advice to yourself, the guy who got rejected a bunch of times from copywriting roles and was wondering which way to go, how do I do it, and today here you stand, what would you say to that person who you were?
I'd say, don't worry, be happy.
Were you worried at that point?
No, well, I have a certain thermostat of shamelessness also. Beyond a point of time, that worry just goes. Yeah. I don't know. I've got this defect.
Yeah.
That एक point के बाद ना होता नहीं है tension. फिर मैं chill हो जाता हूँ कि अब देख ही जाओ. So that way. So, but yeah, I'd say that chill, just enjoy.
Yeah. Take it easy.
Take it easy.
Okay. Thank you so much for the time. It's been
Thank you.
lovely. I would have loved more time, and hopefully you
If
can
she
meet up
wasn't
and later. Thank you. Thank you.
Another time. Thank you.